Good day everyone! I'm Katrina Marinduque from BSIT 3A-BPO, and for today's video, I am going to read the Implementing Rules and Regulations and Guidelines of Capstone Project. The Capstone Project Guidelines and Implementing Rules and Regulations. Capstone Project as a thesis and a research work. Based from CHED Memorandum Order Number 25, Series of 2015, the thesis or capstone project are required for candidates for graduation in all computing programs. Both the thesis and capstone projects are terminal project requirements that would not only demonstrate a student's comprehensive knowledge of the area of study and research methods used, but also allow them to apply the concepts and methods to a specific problem in their area of specializations. What is a thesis? It is a report of a scholar upon some piece of research which he or she has completed. In the area of computing, it is defined as a technical report on a systematic investigation of a problem that can be solved using computing. And it may include a solution, an approximate or partial solution, a scientific investigation, or the development of results leading to the solution of the problem. Capstone Project. It is an undertaking appropriate to a professional field. It should significantly address an existing problem or need, and an IT capstone project focuses on the infrastructure, application, or processes involved in implementing computing solution to a problem. Responsibilities of a capstone project student. Upon enrollment in the thesis or capstone project, the researcher has the sole responsibility of conceptualizing, undertaking, monitoring, and writing the thesis report. It is therefore necessary for a researcher to learn the necessary skill and competency in the conduct of a research. Although there will be an assigned advisor who will guide the student's researcher in the conduct of the study, it is not the advisor's responsibility to feed everything to the researcher, because this defeats the purpose of teaching a researcher to be independent and to be competent. Besides, it will be the researcher who will present the result of the study in the final oral defense and not the advisor. Capstone Project Implementing Rules and Regulations. A. The project duration. The thesis or capstone project will be completed within 2 semesters. The Capstone Project 1 and Capstone Project 2. In case that the student will not be able to comply the requirements within the prescribed semester, he or she will given another 2 semesters as extension to complete the Capstone Project. Failure to complete within the 4 semesters duration, the student will be required to re-enroll Capstone Project 1 and Capstone Project 2. Considering that the average lifespan of a software is 3 years. In case that the student will pass thesis or capstone project 1 but will fail to complete capstone project 2 within 2 semesters, the students will be required to re-enroll thesis or capstone project 1 and thesis or capstone project 2. B. The project group composition. The capstone project group will be composed of a most 3 members depending on the complexity of the project. Students will be allowed to choose their group members, but still, the subject teacher has the final decision to approve the said group depending on the capability of the members of the group. C. Project Advisor. The Dean or Program Chair is given the authority to select the student's advisor and panel members based from the faculty members' competency and expertise on the capstone project topic. The selection of advisor for the Capstone project will be limited to those faculty members from the ICT. Appointment of advisors from other departments, colleges, institutions, universities will be allowed on a case basis. Contract of service. Faculty members may handle Capstone project advisorship provided that there be a permanent faculty member who will be a co-advisor to ensure that there will be somebody who will assume the advisorship once the contract of the former is terminated. And the maximum member of Capstone project advisorship is 5 per faculty member. D. Panel composition. The Dean or Program Chair will assign qualified and competent faculty members who will constitute the defense panel. The defense panel shall be composed of the following: 1 chairman, preferably the Dean or Program Chair or a faculty with at least master's degree. 2 members, 1 may be a content expert. E. Duties and responsibilities of the panel chairman. Brief the proponents or researchers about the proposal hearing, oral defense program during the actual proposal hearing or oral defense respectively. Issue the verdict. The verdict is a unanimous decision among the 3 members of the thesis or capstone project proposal hearing or oral defense panel. Once issued, it is final and irrevocable. Nominate a thesis or capstone project for the outstanding research or capstone project award. F. Duties and responsibilities of the panel members or content expert. Validate the endorsement of the advisor. The panel serves as internal auditors, putting some form of check and control on the kinds of thesis or capstone projects being approved by the college. Evaluate the deliverables. Recommend the verdict. Listen and consider the request of the advisor and or the proponents or researchers, and nominate a thesis or capstone project for the outstanding research or capstone project award. G. Duties and responsibilities of the project thesis or capstone project subject teacher. The subject teacher is by default the advisor of all groups assigned to him or her. Announce research or capstone project areas at the start of each semester to the students. Conduct general meetings with the students to discuss the capstone project guidelines, policies and deliverables, and to allow the students to raise and clarify issues. Select proposal hearing and oral defense panel for each team. Schedule research or capstone project activities such as the deadlines of deliverables and proposal hearing and oral defense sessions. Post schedules, proposal hearing and oral defense guidelines, requirements guidelines, and other announcements. Furnish every member of the proposal hearing and oral defense panel with all the necessary capstone project documents before the proposal hearing or oral defense. File at least 1 copy of the proposal hearing and oral defense panel's evaluation, including revisions, and the revised and approved deliverables at every stage of the research or capstone project, and submit collated grades of the students under his or her section for that term. H. Duties and responsibilities of the advisor. Ensures that the study proposed by the students conforms to the standard of the college and has immediate or potential impact on the research trust of the university. Guides the research or capstone project students in the following tasks while in the proposal stage. Defining the research problems or objectives in clear specific terms. Building a working bibliography for the research. Identifying variables and formulating hypotheses if any. determining research design, population to be studied, research environment, instruments to be used, and the data collection procedures. Meets the team regularly at least twice a month. Note, the team must seek proper appointment to answer questions and help resolve impasses and conflicts. Advisor must remind the proponents or researchers to do their work properly. Reviews thoroughly all deliverables at every stage of the research or capstone project to ensure that they meet the department's standard. The advisor may also require his or her proponents or researchers to submit progress reports regularly. Recommends the proponents or researchers for proposal hearing and oral defense. The advisor should not sign the proposal hearing notice and the oral defense notice if he or she believes that the proponents or researchers are not yet ready for proposal hearing and oral defense, respectively. Thus, if the proponents or researchers fail in the proposal hearing or oral defense, it is partially the advisor's fault. Clarifies points during the proposal hearing and oral defense. Ensures that all required revisions are incorporated into the appropriate documents and or software. Keeps informed of the schedule of research or capstone project activities, required deliverables and deadlines. Recommends to the proposal hearing and oral defense panel the nomination of his or her research or capstone project for an award. As a special advisor, he or she is responsible to be a provider, an encourager, a dictator, a pushy boss, a connector, and an employment agency. I. Project fees. Undergraduate remuneration of persons responsible. The persons directly involved during the course of the capstone project writing exercise will be remunerated as the following. Capstone project advisor 200 pesos. Panelists and under panelists will have the chair 100 pesos and 2 panelists 100 pesos each. The remuneration of an English editor, a statistician, or any other persons outside the university is not covered by the provisions of these guidelines. This will be handled directly by the students. J. Thesis or capstone project presentation. As recommended by the Philippine Society of IT Education or BSIT, Research Committee public presentation is required. It should be a school-based presentation open for public viewing. K. Thesis or capstone project turnover. Project turnover is limited to the software developed not including the equipment used during implementation as stated in the MOU. In the event that the student is willing to donate the equipment, it must be stated in the MOU. L. Thesis or capstone project grading system. The final grade of each proponent will comprise of the following. Average grade of the panel members for 30%, subject teacher for 30%, advisor of the capstone project or group 30%, and peer grading 10% for a total of 100%. Verdicts. There will be 4 possible verdicts after the proposal defense. The verdict is a unanimous decision among the 3 members of the panel committee. Once issued, it is final and irrevocable. Approved. Minor revisions are necessary but they do not have to be presented in front of and checked by all panelists. 86 to 100. Approved with revisions. Major revisions shall be incorporated in the final copy of the revised project proposal summary. There must be checked by the panelists, 70 to 85. And disapproved, the proponents or researchers failed to propose a researchable or scholarly capstone project, below 70. System and manuscript defense. Capstone Capstone project output group grade using system prototype rubric for 70%, oral examination individual grade same rubric with proposal 30% for a total of 100%. Capstone project output group grade 70%. The output should be consistent with the objectives as defined during the proposal stage, 25%. All major module and features of the system's output as defined after the proposal stage are delivered. The credit shall be based on the percentage of delivered items, 25%. Group debugging, the group shall display competence in resolving planted bugs, 20%. Verdicts, final defense. Accepted with revision. Revisions are necessary but they do not have to be presented in front of and checked by all panelists, 86 to 100. Re-oral defense, another oral defense session in which all 70 to 85 and not accepted, the proponents or researchers failed to propose a researchable or scholarly capstone project below 70. CCS ICT Intellectual Property Policy. The college adopts the University Research Development Intellectual Property Policy and Guidelines, treasuring the substantial creativity, innovativeness, and intellectual contribution of the faculty, research and support staff, as well as students in the creation of intellectual property. The university adopts the policy guidelines of Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines.